Okay, good day class. I am Teacher Monica Ibanez, but you can call me Teacher Monique. May I request everyone to please stand for our prayer? Okay, Loisa, will you please lead the prayer? In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. In the love of God, my God, Amen. Okay, thank you, Loisa. Please be seated. So, how are you feeling today, class? Are you feeling sad? Are you feeling happy? Okay, as I am observing you, some are smiling and some are didn't give any emotions at all. You know, class, if you're happy, that's fine, that's good, that's great. And if you're sad, that's fine pa rin. Because that's how life works. Sometimes we're happy, sometimes we're sad. But always remember that there is always a reason to be happy. Oh, there is always a reason to smile. And every day we must choose happiness rather than sadness. So let's have our attendance now. Say presence once your name is called. Alonte Ronnie, Anderson Gerald, Garcia Joshua, Reed James, Padilla Daniel John, Alawi Ivana, Andalio Loisa, Barreto Julia, Bernardo Catherine Chandria, Lustre Nadine. Very good. All of you are present today. Okay. Now, may I ask you class, have you ever been injured or have you got wound or injury? Okay, some of you says yes, some of you says no. Okay, will you please can someone from the class will share his or her experiences on why did he or she got wound or got injured? Okay, James. Okay, according to James, he was playing a bike back then, and then he fell, and then he had a wound in his knee. Now, James, what did you do first to your wound? Okay, he cried in pain, and then his mother washed his wound and then put a betadine on it. Now, class, what do you think is the term of what the mother of James did to his wound? Okay, first aid, very good. Okay, now based from my questions, what do you think our lesson for today? Okay, very good. Our lesson for today is all about the basic first aid for common injuries and conditions, and here are our objectives for today. First, identify common injuries and conditions, discusses basic first aid for common injuries and conditions, and demonstrates appropriate first aid for common injuries and conditions. Okay? Now, let's have a group activity. Do you like that? Okay, let's have a group activity. And our activity is called the mute. And here is the mechanics of our game. The class will be grouped into two. Each group will be given a list of words or phrase. Then each group will choose a member who will going to say the word without a voice, while the rest of the group will going to guess what their member is trying to say. Okay? I have already here the group members. And then says, if you are ready, stomp your feet. A round of applause and says, ready, if you are ready. Okay, very good. Now, here are the groupings. Okay. How was the game? Did you enjoy the game? Okay, exciting, thrill, entertaining. Okay, very good. I'm glad that you enjoyed the game. Now here are the words that the group tried to guess earlier. Okay, for the group 1, we have the word wound. Did the group guess the word wound? They did. How about the word nosebleed? They did. How about the word insect bite? They did. How about the word fracture? Okay, they didn't. Now the group 1 got 1, 2, 3, 3 points. Now let's move on to group 2. Did the group 2 guess the word food poison? Yes, they did. How about the word burn? They did not. How about the word fainting? They did not. How about the word animal bite? They did. Now, 1, 2, the group 2 got 2 points. So our winner for this game is the group 1. I will give the prize later after our discussion. Now class, what do you think are the words that you have encountered during our game? Okay, those are the common injuries and health conditions that needs to have a basic first aid. Now going back to our previous lesson, what first aid means? Okay, what first aid means? Okay, yes, Daniel. Very good. First aid is the first and immediate assistance given to any person suffering from either a major or serious illness or injury. This will be applied prior to the injury to not get worsen. No? Now what is injuries? Okay, yes, Julia. What is injury? Okay, very good. Injury is the damage to the body caused by an external force. This may be caused by falls, accidents, hits, weapons, and other causes. Now, the first common injuries that we're going to discuss is the wound. Okay, now what is wound? Wound is the injuries to the tissues. They manifest as breaks in the skin. Now, what is the basic first aid for wound? Rinse the cut or wound with water and apply pressure with sterile gauze, a bandage, or a clean cloth. If you don't have a sterile gauze or a bandage, you can use any cloth, but clean cloth. No? If blood soaks through the bandage, place another bandage on top of the first and keep applying pressure. If according to what states here, after you got if you got in a wound, rinse your wound with water and then cover it with a bandage or a clean cloth or a sterile gauze and apply pressure. And if the blood soaks through the bandage, place another bandage or a clean cloth. And then rinse the injured part and keep applying pressure. And rinse the injured part to slow bleeding. When bleeding stops, cover the wound with a new clean bandage. Now, if mabantayan nga na-stop na ang pag-bleed niya, remove the bandage and then clean the wound to apply another bandage. Okay, that's it for the basic first aid for wound. Another common injury is the nosebleed. Now, what is nosebleed? Have you ever experienced nosebleed? You did? Ako wala pa. Okay, what is nosebleed? It occurs when blood vessel in the nose break or bleed. Now, what is the basic first aid for nosebleed? Okay. The basic first aid, pinch your nose. Pinch your nose down, and then use your thumb and then index finger. Pinch your nostrils shut. Breathe through your mouth. Okay, since ginapinch na tong atong nose, dili ta maka-breathe through nose. And it's bleeding pa man pod. So, we will breathe through mouth. Continue to pinch for 10 to 5 minutes. Why do we need to pinch our nose? Pinching sends pressure to the bleeding point in the nasal septum and often stops the flow of blood. So, mohangad ta and then pinch your nose using your index finger and your thumb and your index finger for 10 to 5 minutes or 5 to 10 minutes to stop the bleeding. Okay? Do you understand? Very good. Next is the insect bite. Insect bite. What is insect bite? Insect bite is a mild and usually manifested by redness, itchiness, stinging sensation, and minor swelling of the affected area. So, common insect bite is usually kanang bite from bees, diba? From the sting of the bees. Sometimes ang uban manghubag ilahang naong or ilahang part sa ilahang body, mag-cause siya of redness, itchiness. Now, what is the basic first aid for insect bite? Apply a cloth dampened with cold water or filled with ice to the area of the bite or sting for 10 to 12 minutes. Okay. Magkuha daw taog clean cloth na gilublob sa cold water or either magput taog ice cubes sa clean cloth, then put it sa area nga gibite sa bugs or sa bees for 10 to 12 minutes. This helps to reduce pain and swelling. If the injury is on an arm or leg, raise it. Or if the bite kay na-address sa part sa atong arms, raise it down. No? Apply to the affected area calamine lotion, baking soda, paste, or 0.5% or 1% hydrocortisone cream if possible, kung naamo ani nga mga cream. Next is animal bite. Have you ever bitten by a dog or an animal? Okay. Now, what is animal bite? Animal bite, it is the bites from wild animals. Can lead to rabies, a life-threatening infection. So, the difference sa insect bite sa animal bite, mas dangerous ang animal bite. Kaya it can cause rabies man, no? Now, what is the basic first aid for animal bite? Wash the bite with soap and water. Wash daw sa after nga ako nang mabite na sa wild animals or any animals like dogs or cats ang ato ang part sa body, wash it immediately og soap and water, no? To get the para ma-prevent ang pagkalat sa infection if ever. If the bite is bleeding, put pressure on it using sterile gauze or clean cloth. Again, just like sa wound, i-cover na siya og sterile gauze or a clean cloth or a bandage if dili mag-stop ang pag-flow sa blood. And then put pressure. If the bleeding has stopped, put antibiotic ointment in the area. Cover the area with a bandage or a sterile gauze. Okay. If the bleeding has stopped, tatangan remove the bandage or clean cloth or sterile gauze and then apply ointment, antibiotic ointment, and then cover it with another clean cloth or a bandage or a sterile gauze. Next is the burn and scald. Now, what is burn and scald? Burn and scald is the damage to the skin caused by heat. Burn caused by dry heat, such as fire, any hot materials, even the sun, while scald caused by wet heat like steam, hot water, and cooking oil. Again, ang burn is caused by the heat, even from the sun or any hot materials, while ang scald is caused by wet heat. Burn is caused by dry heat, while scald is caused by wet heat, such as init tubig, hot water, or cooking oil or a steam. Now, what is the basic first aid for burn and scald? Cool the burn with cool or lukewarm running water for 20 minutes as soon as possible after the injury. Okay, ipatungo siya sa running water. Dili siya kanang like cold kaayo nga water. It's like warm lang siya. Lukewarm running water for 20 minutes. Never use ice water, or any creams or greasy substances such as butter. Keep yourself or the person warm. Use a blanket para keep warm ang person na ay burn or scald. Use a blanket or layers of clothing, but avoid putting them on the injured area. Cover your body or the person's nga nagka-burn and scald, cover their body with warm cloth or a blanket, but avoid covering the injured area or the injured part of the body. Next, we have fainting. It's not fainting, it's fainting. Now, what is fainting? What do you think is fainting means? Okay, very good. Collapse like that. Fainting is a sudden loss of consciousness due to lack of oxygen in the brain, sometimes caused by heat stroke, mga ingon anak, like that. Now, what is the basic first aid for fainting? Let him or her lie down first. Raise their legs by placing their ankles on top of your shoulders. Raise their legs down. I don't know. Make sure that the patient have plenty of fresh air to parang makabreathe siya of fresh air, no? To have an oxygen, makasudang oxygen sa iyang body, fresh air. If the person do not regain consciousness after some time, prepare for CPR or mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. That's it for the basic first aid of fainting. Next is food poison. Okay. Food poison. Maybe some of you already experienced na food poison, no? Kanang pataka sa og kaon. That's food poison. Food poison is a food-borne illness. Occurs when the food or drink consumed is contaminated, or kanang like panus na, may inana, mao na makakos of food poison. Pataka tagkaon like pud anang sagol-sagol lang atong mga gikaon, it can cause food poisoning. Now, what is the basic first aid for food poison? Just like sa fainting, first, lie down and rest. If they're vomiting or magsuka, give them small sips of water to drink, as this will help prevent dehydration. No? Some kanang, if possible, warm water ang ipainom sa tao nga nag-experience of food poison. If they have accompanying diarrhea or diarrhea only, it is even more important to try to replace lost fluids and salts. So, diba, some people, if na ay mag-food poison or ma-impatcho, ang uban, paimnon nila o Gatorade, no? Or like, a warm water, maligam-gam mo tubig, like water nga na ay asin. Okay? It can help to, like a basic first aid for food poison. Okay, lastly is fracture. Now, what is fracture? Fracture is a break, usually in a bone commonly happen because of car accidents, falls, or sports injuries. Okay, have you ever been experienced fracture? Okay, boys who playing basketball, have you ever been experienced fracture or kanang mabali ang muscles? Like sa ankle, for example, common injury sa mga basketball players is ilahang ankle, no, magka-fracture. Have you ever experienced that one? Okay, never pa. Now, what is the basic first aid for fracture? Cool the affected area by applying an ice pack or ice cubes wrapped in a clean cloth. O, diba? Parang, sa makita natin sa TV, like, basketball player is nagka-injury siya sa ankle. Diba? Musit siya sa side, sa ilang court side, and then, some members will put a ice pack on his ankle, no? Treat the patient's shock. Help them get into a comfortable position. Encourage them to rest and reassure them. Cover them with a blanket or clothing to keep the warm. Okay? Fracture is also one of the dangerous na injury sa mga athletes. Sometimes some players dili na makabalik sa silang sports because of fracture, the impact of fracture to their lives, like mag-resen ang ilahang fracture if dili sila mag-rest for some period of time. Okay, those are the common injuries of common injuries and health conditions that needs to have a basic first aid. Okay, so now I have here a set of statements. Do you understand all the basic first aid naman na? Do you understand all? Okay, very good. To make sure that you understand the basic first aid, I have here set of statements, and then based from our discussion earlier, I want you to supply the missing words or phrase sa statements. Okay. First statement. First statement. This is a basic first aid for wound. Rinse the cut or wound with blank and apply pressure with sterile gauze, a bandage, or a clean cloth. What do you think is the missing word here? Yes, Gerald? Water. Very good. Water is correct. Statement 2. This is a basic first aid for burn and scald. Cool the burn with cool or lukewarm running water for blank as soon as possible after the injury. Yes, Nadine. 20 minutes is correct. Statement number 3. This is the basic first aid for fracture. Cool the affected area by applying a blank or ice cubes wrapped in a clean cloth. Yes, Ronnie. Ice pack is correct. Statement number 4. Basic first aid for fainting. Make sure that the patient have plenty of fresh air. If the person do not regain consciousness after some time, prepare for... Yes, Joshua. CPR. Very good. Statement number 5. Basic first aid for animal bite. Wash the bite with blank and blank if the bite is bleeding. Put pressure on it using sterile gauze or a clean cloth. Yes, James. Okay, soap and water. Very good. Okay. Now let's have another activity. Let's have another group activity. Okay, let's do counting from 1 to 4, starting from you, Ronnie. Okay, are you excited for our game? Okay, group 1 will stay here, group 2 will stay here, group 3 will stay there, and group 4 will stay at the back. Okay, our game is called the role playing. Okay, I will give a specific injury or health condition, and then you students will going to think of a scenario where you will going to apply the basic first aid of the specific injury that I will give to you. Okay, are you ready? Again, if you're ready, stamp your feet 3 times. A round of applause and says ready. Okay, very good. Okay, for group 1 is the nose bleed. Okay, for group 2 is animal bite. Group 3 is fainting. Group 4 is fracture. Okay, now here is the rubric for the group activity. Content will be 10 points. Cooperation will be 10 points also, for a total of 20 points. I will give you 5 minutes to prepare for your role playing. Okay, how was the game? Did you enjoy the game? Okay, upon observing you doing the role playing, some of you are enjoying, some of you are, I don't know, got bored. Okay, let's read the group 1. The group 1's content is 10 points. Cooperation is 10 points, for a total of 20 points. So it's not clear. For a total of 20 points. Group 2, they did cooperate and the content is accurate. You got 20 points also. For the group 3, content is accurate and cooperation is present also. You got 20 points. Same goes sa group 4. You got 20 points. I can see your efforts. Okay, group 1, group 2, group 3, and group 4 got 20 points. All the group got the perfect score. Now, I want you to get 1/2 sheet of paper and then answer this evaluation. Okay, I will give you 10 minutes to answer the evaluation. Okay, time is up. Let's check your answers. Number 1, who would like to answer? It is the injury in the tissues. They manifest as breaks in the skin. The wound is correct. Number 2, the first and immediate assistance given to any person suffering from either a minor or serious illness or injury. Very good. First aid. It is number 3. It is an injury that can lead to rabies and a life-threatening infection. Very good. Animal bite. Number 5. It is caused by wet heat like steam, hot water, and cooking oil. Scald. Very good. Next, number 6, it is mild and usually manifested by redness, itchiness, stinging sensation, and minor swelling of the affected area. Insect bite. Very good. Number 7, it is a sudden loss of consciousness due to lack of oxygen in the brain. Fainting. Very good. Number 8, it is a foodborne illness occurs when the food or drink consumed is contaminated. Food poison. Very good. Number 9, it is a break, usually in a bone. Commonly happen because of car accidents, falls, or sport injuries. Fracture. Very good. Number 10, it occurs when blood vessel in the nose break or bleed. Nosebleed. Very good. Who got 10 points? Okay, all of you got 10 points. Very good. It indicates that you really listen to our discussion and understand the basic first aid or the common injuries and health conditions. Now, before we end our discussion, here is your assignment that you are going to pass next week. Okay. The instruction will be demonstrate at least 2 basic first aid, or at least 2 common injuries that needs to have a basic first aid, and then you will take a pictures during your demonstration and paste them in a short bond paper. Now here is the criteria. Content, 10 points. Organization, 10 points. Creativity, 10 points. Punctuality, 10 points. So, in order to get 10 points, your content must be accurate. Organization, dapat dili siya nagkayagaw. Creativity, dapat lindot. If possible, put any designs on your bond paper. And next is the punctuality for the submission, your assignments. Dapat on time to have 10 points for a total of 20 points. So I hope you listened to our discussion and understand their topic for today. Thank you for listening and see you next week.